Greetings from Lake Tahoe, California. This is Emerald Bay State Park, and this is one of the, if not the top attraction along the shores of Lake Tahoe here in the southern part of the lake. And I'm going to zoom out and show you. It is just absolutely a postcard picture perfect day. And look at that view. I'm on my way up to see if I can't find a mansion called Vikingsholm, which is a rather famous property or mansion here somewhere on the waterfront here down by Emerald's Bay. And I'm going to take you along and see if we can't find it. Quite the drive up here, to say the very least. A lot of winding roads and roads with cliffs that if you go over the edge, well, you don't want to go over the edge. So let's go see if we can't find the Vikingsholm mansion. All right, this is actually going to become quite the adventure. I thought it was going to be a nice little drive from the campground where I'm staying in South Lake Tahoe over to the Emerald Bay State Park and to the Vikingsholm mansion, but it's not without its challenges. Here I find my way just to the beginning of a trail, and the parking lot, almost all of the parking lots here are absolutely full. And this is a Monday. I can only imagine what the same area looked like yesterday or Saturday. So this trail should take me down to Vikingsholm, and you can actually read up on it yourself. I'm not gonna try to pretend that I know a whole heck of a lot about Vikingsholm, but it's a pretty famous place. I know they had a dinner there honoring Charles Lindbergh after he flew across the Atlantic Ocean. So let's see if we can't find our way down. I don't know if this is actually on the water or not, but we will see. If you're lucky enough to find a parking spot, this is where it would be at the Emerald Bay State Park, Vikingsholm parking fee area. And I wasn't one of the lucky ones, but regardless, I'm gonna still try to find my way down there. I believe they give tours, and the tours stop at about 4:30, but the grounds are open up until sunset. If you look off in the distance, there's the road coming in to this part of the park. And this looks like this would be the actual beginning of the trail down. It's a 1 mile hike, and I believe it drops 400 feet. I see a lot of people coming and climbing on these rocks over here and taking pictures. It's just beautiful. This reminds me a little bit of Lake Bled in Slovenia. So telling you that you got a steep trail ahead. No dogs, bicycles, motorcycles coming down this area. So down we go. I brought my unicycle thinking that I might be able to take a ride from the parking lot down to the Vikingsholm, but I think that was just a little bit of wishful thinking. Saw a sign that you can rent paddle boards and kayaks down here at the beach. Looks like this woman's coming from the beach. I would guess that I'm about a half mile down the trail, and as I was walking along, I'm looking at kayakers that have paddled out to that little island out there, or are paddling out to the little island. And as I walk along, I find myself thinking that I lived in Northern California for the better part of 30 years, most of my adult life, and never made it to Emerald Bay State Park here in beautiful Lake Tahoe. But now I can say that I did. Here's a great opportunity to show you these beautiful trees that you see as you walk along. Look at the trunk of that tree. It's gorgeous. You look at that.
Which you already have.
I couldn't resist showing you this. Look at the beautiful waterfall. Side of the hill here. And boy, you know what? As I've been walking along, I've been playing catch up, and if there were ever a what the hell were they thinking moment, I come across this family here, and they've got a paddleboard and everything. What were you guys thinking?
You know what? We tried MacGyvering it.
Huh?
It's called MacGyver.
You're gonna be on YouTube now.
Oh.
You're going to be on YouTube. Look at this. Hugh, was this your idea to bring these things all the way down here?
It's going to be worth it.
We're
And
almost there.
how are you going to get them back up?
We'll worry about that in a
Take,
few hours.
take a boat.
Yeah.
I'll bring you
All
in
right.
the helicopter. I wasn't
Just
thinking about that.
Search Tom Hall, Emerald Bay State Park, and you'll see
Perfect.
yourselves.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Rather ambitious, and good sports too. All right, if I had a nickel for every time I said or asked somebody, is Vikingsholm up here? Is Vikingsholm up here? I'd probably have enough to get a cup of coffee, a small cup of coffee, and here would be Vikingsholm. Look at this. You look at that, there it is. Vikingsholm Mansion. Now I don't know that I'll be able to go inside, because the tours have probably stopped for the day. But regardless, I can still share some of it with you. Look at that.
Look at these blue jays. Look at the blue jays. Some blue jays right there.
The what?
Blue jays.
A blue jay?
Birds.
A bird. Oh yeah.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Yeah, I see him. This gentleman was pointing out some blue jays in the bushes. And I see one, I don't know if you can see him or not. Caught his attention though. If you look closely, you'll see him right there. Look at that. Okay. All right, folks. Back to the main attraction, Vikingsholm. Look at this. Quite a hike to get down here. Look at that. I don't think that they're still giving tours. Now the door is locked. But you can still see. Show you some of the woodwork. I'm sure Rob down in Australia would appreciate that. Then just out here you have the beach. I will walk around to the rear. What a beautiful home. Look at that. Quite a story behind this property. Look at that. Got the grass up on the roof, as you'd find in a lot of homes over in Scandinavia. Wonderful. Boy, if these walls could talk. Looks like the garage, or maybe the boathouse. I don't think they had paddle boards back in the day. This is actually a private residence here. No shortage of beautiful carvings. Look at this.
Did his wife goes into Ilias?
Yeah, she's basically she almost always like is with him. She's that.
Very nice. Here's the see them giving a tour over there. All right, I thought I was going to try to find my way in for a tail end of a tour, but maybe wishful thinking. Look at this here. And then the roof. Very nice. All right, I've walked around the perimeter of the building here, of the mansion. Sorry I couldn't take you inside. Maybe we'll save that for another visit here to Vikingsholm. Let's go see if we can't reach the beach. And if only to give you the full experience, if you were to walk out the front door after a nice evening and wanted to go down and take a dip into the lake, this would be the steps that you would take right down here to the water. And I can only imagine that water is relatively cold. I actually took my shoes off, and I'm gonna wade in just a little bit, and I'll be able to tell you how cold it is here in just a moment. It's cold, folks. once you're in the water for a little while, you warm up to it. What a nice way to spend the day. Those folks coming down with the stuff all in tow are gonna have a nice time down here.
Where's Johnny Boy?
There's some more folks out. No shortage of nice boats. Wonderful.
Oh, it's
Alright, me and Dad are gonna do a test right now.
Paddle boards here.
Oh, hey, hey!
That's something that I need to learn to try.
Go back to one, put you right off right now.
Never quite picked that up.
Let's go.
But I would imagine it's a great sport.
Yeah.
And of course you got the jet ski if that's your thing. Alright, I need to find my way back up. Maybe we'll stop at the waterfall on the way back to South Lake Tahoe. And lest I not forget to give you a view from the front, looking at the mansion here from the lake. Boy, what a beautiful place. If you want some perspective of the climb down or the climb up, you only need to look at this. There is the top of the trail somewhere up there. So it's about a 400-foot drop. But look at that. There's your 400-foot drop. You'd think they'd put a lift in right about here to just bring you down the side, make it a little easier. Perhaps I could have shared this with you on the way going down, but regardless, here it is, built from love and a dream. Mrs. Laura Knight traveled to Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Sweden with Lennart Palm, gathering furniture and seeking ideas for the design of her summer home at Emerald Bay. They visited century-old churches, farms, and a castle, incorporating features she liked into the plans. And the result was Vikingsholm. She bought the property in 1928. The 269 acres included Eagle Falls and Finette Island. These rugged granite peaks and deep blue waters reminded her of Scandinavia. Mrs. Knight planned a summer home to suit the spectacular setting. She engaged Swedish architect Lennart Palm to design the new house. Palm was married to her niece. Construction was quickly underway and finished in late 1929. The summer of 1930 welcomed Mrs. Knight, her guests, and staff of 15. She was to enjoy 15 summers here until she passed away at the age of 82. You look at that. Not the greatest picture of her, but you get an idea. So there is your visit to Emerald Bay and Vikingsholm here in beautiful Lake Tahoe.